What the hell is going on with DC live action stuff at the moment? It's a mess. An absolute mess. Hi, I'm Phil. Welcome to my channel where I like to talk about all the geeky pop culture that I like and consume. Things like Doctor Who, things like Star Trek, things like superhero media of various types. And that's what we're talking about today. Because just generally, I mean, I don't really know what to say. DC's a mess at the moment in live action. You've got the Arrowverse, which I need to make a video on. I need to talk about and get my feelings out about at some point. Arrowverse is a mess, but that's a whole other story. Yesterday, we got the breaking news of the fact that Batgirl, the movie that was being made for HBO Max for streaming, has been cancelled. But it's already been filmed. It's most of the way through post-production. And now, at the very last minute, they have cancelled it. Why have they done this? What are they thinking? I mean, let's try and work that out, because they have spent, the numbers I have seen are over 90 million on this movie. It's towards the end of the post-production. There can't be that much more that they were going to spend on it. So where is the logic in not releasing it now? You've got this is probably the DC movie that I was actually most looking forward to. I was really looking forward to seeing an interpretation of Batgirl on screen that wasn't the Batman and Robin version from the 90s. Because that wasn't even Barbara Gordon. I wanted to see Barbara Gordon on screen. We had a kick-ass looking costume that is straight out of the comics, of the more recent run of the comics at least. And I really liked that. We had... Well, it's just a great supporting cast. We had Michael Keaton back as Batman, the 90s Batman from Batman and Batman Returns, back as Batman. Was also, we'll discuss The Flash in a minute, due to be coming back in The Flash as well. Who knows if that will still happen, but but he was going to be in this. He's filmed all of his stuff. We had J.K. Simmons returning as Commissioner Gordon, and J.K. Simmons is just great in pretty much everything, so looking forward to that. We had Brendan Fraser as the bad guy, Firefly. And Brendan Fraser, I mean, it's the Fraser on... Oh, I can't even pronounce it. I can't speak. His career... Not reconnaissance, that's a completely different thing. What am I trying to say? Renaissance. Fraser-Renaissance. Brendan Fraser-Renaissance. No, that's not what people are calling it. They're calling it something like that. But I was really looking forward to seeing him too. And now the movie isn't happening. And all of that, I feel for the cast here, because they must be absolutely gutted that their movie is not coming out. Now, why are Warner Brothers / Discovery, because there has been that recent merger, and I suspect that had a large part to play in this. This probably wouldn't have happened if the merger hadn't gone ahead. This was a pre-merger commission, and I just don't know what it's doing. So what do you think? Why are they doing this? They've sunk all the money into it already. What's the benefit of not releasing it in some form? I've read some things that about them being able to put it as a tax write-off if they don't release it. Now, that kind of makes sense, I guess, if they were going to release it onto HBO Max, and maybe they've done the numbers and they've worked out that they've done some projections and worked out that they don't think they're going to get that many more subscribers from this. Because let's face it, if you are a DC comic book fan, you are probably already subscribed to HBO Max for the other stuff that is on there. You know, your Peacemaker, your other DC films that are on there. Your I think some of the is Titans on there? I can't remember. I'm not in America. I don't know. But there are other DC properties on there. So they've kind of got stuff on there already that to entice them. So maybe they made the calculation that actually it's not going to get us any more subscribers, or many more subscribers, or enough more subscribers to justify the cost. And they don't want to do a theatrical release because apparently it's not big enough. They want to concentrate on the really big, high impact blockbuster superhero movies. And that's why they're ditching doing streaming stuff altogether. So maybe they made the calculation that actually with the money they would get from the tax write-off is more than new subscribers would bring to them. And it's a simple calculation on a spreadsheet, and it's all about money. That could be what it is. It kind of goes against sort of normal people's instincts, because you think, oh, well, they've spent the money already, so why not release it? What harm can it do? But actually, because of this tax write-off, they could get some money back, conversely, from it. Maybe that's worth more to them. It's sad, especially from a creative point of view, especially for the people involved, if that happens. Now, if that does happen, another thing I saw pointed out is that means it can never be released. They can't change their minds later once they've written off the money for tax. Because if they've done that, and then they release it and earn money from it, then they've committed tax fraud. So once they go down that route, if they do, and write it off for tax, they literally are not allowed to release it. If they do, they will get fined massively by the tax office in America, and it'll be a whole thing. So the only way we're going to see this movie, likelihood, is if somebody leaks it. So hopefully, I'm hoping that somebody leaks it. It's not finished post-production, so don't expect it to be a polished product. There will be visual effects that aren't finished, etc., etc. But I'd be really interested to see what this involves. A lot of people have also been saying, well, how bad is it if they're not willing to release it? Because surely, if it had been a great movie, they would have released it anyway. Possibly. That's possibly a factor. Maybe there was rumours that it didn't do well with test audiences. Maybe they thought, well, okay, we can get more money than the new subscribers are worth anyway. It's not going to give us any reputational boost. In fact, maybe it will damage the brand a bit, the Batman brand. So maybe let's not release it. Thinking back to like Catwoman in the early 2000s. That movie did quite a bit of damage to the Batman brand, I would say, at the time. It was a terrible movie, apparently. I've never seen it, but I've heard it's a terrible movie. And I say I've never seen it. I started to watch it and couldn't get very far into it without turning it off. So I think that's enough to say it's probably a bad movie. So maybe they're trying to avoid something like that as well. So it's kind of a money/reputational thing. I don't really know, and nobody does. And I doubt they'll ever come clean about exactly what the discussions were and why the decisions were made. It's just a really disappointing choice for fans, because even if you weren't massively looking forward to this movie, I can't believe you would want it not to come out when so many people put so much work into it. And even if you wouldn't have necessarily interested in seeing Batwoman to come on Michael Keaton as Batman again, how good would that be? I'm really disappointed in this. The other question it raises is, of course, what's happening with The Flash. That's the other thing that Michael Keaton is going to be in. Because the third option of why they might not want to release this is that they've got a new plan in terms of the continuity of DC films going forward. Now, that I believe, or the speculation is, that the plan was to do the Flash movie, and that would reboot the continuity of the series with some time travel things, and you can kind of go afresh with new actors. Michael Keaton in the role as the main Batman for that universe, and not Ben Affleck. Not Ben Affleck, but Michael Keaton. And adding weight to that is the fact that Aquaman got moved forward in front of Flash for a release, and originally there was rumours that Michael Keaton would be popping up in that, but now we've had confirmation that actually Ben Affleck is popping up as Batman in that. So they look like they were rejigging it anyway, and maybe we'll get just the continuation of the continuity that's been established with the Snyder films and the films that came afterwards. Maybe they will now continue that continuity, which actually I wouldn't be too against. I like consistent continuities, but the knock-on effects of these other things that were planned, it's a real shame to lose them. And of course, will The Flash even come out anymore? Who knows? As well as they've sunk a lot more money into The Flash, so it's harder for them. But with all the controversy over Ezra Miller, who has done some really questionable things recently and keeps on doing them and keeps on popping up in headlines, they're a real controversial figure at the moment. And yeah, who knows if that, maybe this is an indication that they might end up shelving the Flash as well. I'm less excited about the Flash as I was because, frankly, just the craziness of Ezra Miller, they've just kind of put me off that film a little bit. But I was still probably going to watch it because of the multiverse angle, because of Michael Keaton. I wanted to kind of see where it was going to go. But I was less excited about it than I was. Maybe they'll make the decision to shelve that as well. We'll have to wait and see. What do you think about this news? Were you looking forward to Batgirl? What do you think of the repercussions of it going forward? Let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you again soon for more superhero-related videos. See you next time. Goodbye.